So we will take darshan of their Lordship Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Devi Subhadra, Gauranitai, Vamanadev, Parsuramji, and the Panchatattva. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Swa Padantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. So today we are doing this 16th chapter, the divine and demoniac natures. In that, I think we are doing the 7th verse. I'll read the verse. Pravritim cha nivritim cha jana na vidur ashuraha na saucham napi cha charo na satyam teshu vidyate. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. Okay. So this chapter, as the name clearly indicates, talks about the divine and demoniac natures. So these, we all know, like, the Bhagavad Gita, the chapters post to the 8th, 9th chapters are more informative, right? The conclusion has already been made, like, what is the purpose of life, what is to be done, all that is clear. Now, this is about the better understanding of the environment around us and how do we, try to move forward in a given environment. So now in that context, the type of people are there, what are the divine personalities, what are the demoniac personalities, and how are they classified into why they are called as a divine, why they are called as a demoniac, and what are their characteristics, and such other explanations are given. And if you keep seeing further and further, like these, the 18th chapter is called the perfection of renunciation. Then 17th is called the divisions of faith. So these are all giving more knowledge into the whole aspect of trying to reach to the conclusion which you have already reached in the earlier chapter. So now, but that doesn't mean, okay, we have gone past the conclusion, therefore this is not very important. That is not, that's a very what do you call, very, the attitude there is actually very bad. That means we cannot actually reach to the goal. We need to be very, very serious in trying to understand everything properly, including the process, including the environment, and then how do we navigate through that environment? What are the possibilities available? Conclusion is there. That is fine. But the sadhana is very important. The path in which you walk, right? What are the pitfalls all around us? These things are very important. That will help us anticipate and actually avoid avoid the traps, so-called traps. Because we are in this world which is actually a place which is full of illusion. Therefore, it is easy for us to get trapped, even though we know that, we are to, our purpose is very clear. I am a soul, and therefore, my idea, the logic, therefore, is to connect to that, the environment of the soul. And we know within that environment, there is a super soul and the Maha Soul, or the Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. and therefore my job is to connect there. And when there is a small and a bigger one, naturally the smaller one tends to rely on the bigger one, and therefore my job is simply to function as a servant of that bigger soul, and then everything is happy. All this is theoretically understood. The constitutional position of the soul is therefore to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All this is nice to hear, but how do you do that? Right? You need to understand what are the, like, for example, people say, right, there's a science called horoscope. So when your entire life is already decided by your karma, why do you need to see a horoscope and all that? You don't need to. Technically speaking, there is no need for anything, because anyway it is destined. Whatever you do, you're going to have happen. It's going to happen. Then why there should be a science called this horoscope and all that? So how do you understand that? Because that is also there in the scriptures. Therefore, can we discard that? Yeah, no, in one sense, if you are in the highest plane, you don't bother. But even then, even for Prabhupada, they used to check and say, okay, Prabhupada, your time is not very favorable, like that. They used to say, this is more very superficial for Prabhupada point of view. But the point is, such things were also checked. So why did they check it? Like, for example, Prabhupada, when he was born only, it was predicted, right? The horoscope only he saw. And he said, Prabhupada, at 70 years, he will actually become a world preacher, like something like that. He will build a home in which the whole world can live, like that. It was predicted. So, but it did happen later on. But then these things, how does it help? Is basically it helps us to sort of have a kind of a caution. Okay, like, if my thing says, it's going to be, I will supposed to have a bad time, then I need to be a little more careful. I need to be a little more focused in my life. Then the danger is slightly I go through the danger in a very proper mood, right? So I will anyway go through it, but I will go through in a proper mood so that it does not affect me too much. So this is more in the mind game. So similarly, when we look at these chapters, how do we understand this? When we understand there is something called a demoniac nature, then how do I actually go through the phase with the knowledge so that I can go through in a very in a sober manner, that I get over very easily? How do I avoid such nature? That is important. So in this verse, it's mentioned, those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. So it's basically, it's more into the nature of the animal kingdom. Basically, these are people who may look like humans, but they do not have any understanding of the higher consciousness which a human is supposed to possess. So now, in other words, the animals have these four basic tendencies of eating, mating, defending, and sleeping. Now, if as a human being, the body is actually meant to understand a little higher than that, and to see beyond this existence of this body from the point start, from the birth to the end, beyond that, what? This thought has to come for a human body. But those personalities who are not having any of such understanding, who do not have even an inclination to understand that, they will be falling into the animal category. And more importantly, when we say demoniac, is these kind of people, see, when you are a human being and I need to reach beyond, then how do you know all these things? You need to know through the established process of Vedic injunction, right? That is, the Vedic injunctions are the handbook, they call, right? They are the handbook, or they are the manuals. They are the manuals for if you buy a product, then there's a manual given along with it, and that manual tells you how to operate these things. If you operate it like this, then this machine will be working well. Like this material world is actually a big machinery, and in that machinery we are placed, and then we are allowed to enjoy that machinery. Now, if you have to enjoy that machinery properly, then you need to know how to operate it, and that is important. And therefore, these Vedic scriptures are actually the manual which helps you how you can use this machine and use it for your progress, that you get out of this mess that we are already in. So therefore, this understanding of this thing comes through the Vedic injunction. But one who has this demoniac nature, they have no idea about how I should navigate in this material world. They either are ignorant, or more importantly, they actually deny such things, because for them, their major thought process is that, that I should simply enjoy and satisfy my senses. So this is the most basic quality of a demoniac person, because here is where we are actually starting these the qualities of a demoniac person. What is not to be done? Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. So these are the 5 characteristics have been mentioned here. Do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. That means they do not follow, because, as I said in that manual, there are do's and don'ts. So there are, you need to perform yajna, you need to perform this, you need to perform that, and you should not perform these things, right? We know, right? Karma, vikarma. You are not supposed to perform vikarma activities. You are to perform devotional activities. And even if it is not devotional, if it is karmic also, you should do karma activities, not vikarma activities. So these are the do's and don'ts. So that those 2 are covered, what to be done, what not to be done. That means you don't have faith in the scriptures, you do not follow the scriptures, you do not understand the scriptures, you go against the scriptures. That is the first portion of it. Then neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. So these are the other aspects. Now, if you see, these are somewhere very closely related to the 4 regulative principles, right? At least the 3 of them is coming here. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. So now cleanliness is the saucham. That means in our context, cleanliness has various aspects. Like, if you have to take Brahmana Diksha, I'm actually a devotee, but I'm generally normally clean. But then if you ask a Brahmana devotee, second initiated devotee, he will tell you some more things which you don't think is normally what you generally practice. Like, when you eat, for example, when you eat, many people, we use our left hand and right hand to serve the prasadam. So we are having prasadam and we just serve it, and then we immediately use that hand to touch our clothes and all. But if you say a second initiated devotee will be very mindful how he does this kind of cleanliness. They will try to not just like there could be some, like we may be eating, there may be some rices which would have fallen, we might have used the left hand or something, that it's actually kind of become juta, if you take one. So, but then sometimes devotees don't realize that we just use the same hand to touch other stuff. Like we may use the same hand to pick up the the spoon to pick other prasadam. So we are actually the prasadam and again serve it in our plate. So these are all not, we may not even realize that, okay, we are devotees, we are following, but someone who's second initiated will have that little bit more care of how he or she does these activities. So like that saucham, that cleanliness, there are many intricate stuff, but minimum thing is, you do not engage in illicit sex. Now, animal behavior is very natural that they are all the time into such activities. But when you come to a human form, then if you are having that, not just the form, the evolution of the brain to the level of a human, then that cleanliness becomes very important. Starting with that, starting with means the worst of it is to have illicit sex, right? Okay, this touching these things from left and right is also okay. But this one is the worst kind of a thing. But therefore, a demoniac person does not have any of these attributes. They are actually completely unclean in that sense. And then there is also this, they do not have good behavior. So not even a Vaishnava behavior. Sometimes some demons may look like very well-behaved gentlemen. So here the aspect that is mentioned, good behavior, is not about this gentlemanly behavior. It is about the behavior of a Vaishnava. So that again is absolutely zero in such people. They may sometimes look like well-behaved gentlemen. We can see many people who are very materialistic but are very gentlemanly in their behavior, gentlewomanly in their behavior. But that is not the criteria for considering someone to be divine. we need to go deeper into that to see whether they have these Vaishnava qualities. Then you can consider them as divine. Otherwise, they are falling into the category of the demoniac. And the last one is Satyam, truth. So, this one is part of our regulative principles, where you do not gamble, right? Truthfulness is represented by that pillar, where the opposite of that is to gamble, or these deceitful things and those kind of stuff. So these people don't, by hook or crook, get what they want to do. They do not have that morality in them to do things how they should be done. Their only motive is to actually look at how do I get resources, how do I make money, or whatever it is. It could be money, it could be name, it could be fame, or it could be whatever. But their logic is getting to the objective, not about how you get to the objective. So these are very, very important aspects. These qualities actually define a demoniac, or you are a demoniac person or a divine person. It is not that these people look like, they have their tooth coming out, or they have some two horns, or their eyes are so big and, so all looks like red and all that. If you see Ravana, supposed to be most handsome, like, the nature is demoniac, but the personality was so very, it is mentioned, any woman would actually be waiting for when will Ravana call me. Like Mother Sita, Ravana abducted. But there are so many other women who are looking like, if will Ravana not have a glance on me? That way he was. So it's about very handsome, and he had also wonderful qualities. But then the demoniac nature overrules everything. And one definition of demoniac we should all remember. We can go through many other demoniac things, but one simple definition of a demoniac is those who accept the supreme personality of Godhead are called divine, and those who negate the supreme personality of Godhead as demoniac. That is a very high level principle. So here, so many other things we may have, but if you are negating this aspect, that not accepting the supreme personality of Godhead, then we are demoniac. You think about this. There is this Indra, right? Indra also did demoniac activities, did he not? He did many demoniac activities in one sense. So now, why are we not classifying Indra as a demon while someone else is classified as a demon? Because Indra, in spite of, all of us possess these qualities. In spite of possessing some of these qualities, negative qualities, he still accepted the supreme personality of Godhead. When he even fought against the Lord, but when he realized that this is the supreme personality of Godhead, he simply came and surrendered with that cow and said, please forgive me. That is the nature of a divine person. Therefore, we also have these demoniac characters, even though we accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. But the point is, how do we overcome these? How do we overcome this? That is what has been taught in these chapters. How do we overcome this and kill this demoniac nature? By nature, yes, you can be called a divine because you are accepting Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. But then the idea is also to eradicate the other demoniac characters. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was there, then it was mentioned how many people you will kill in Kali Yuga because they are demons. Practically everyone is a demon. Now then, how do you kill them? It doesn't make sense to kill each one of these fellows because there's nobody going to be remaining there. Therefore, the best thing to do is remove the demoniac qualities from the heart of these people and make them divine. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply used this tool of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and made the people demons into divine characters. And therefore, the more we are able to chant the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, our demoniac nature is automatically killed. We don't have to do anything more if we simply chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And of course, as I started off by saying, it is important to know these things. If we know these things, some of these things, as part of our chanting process, this is also chanting. Chanting Bhagavad Gita is also chanting the holy name of the Lord. But in the process, we also get some tools, we get some information. And when those nature is coming out of us, we can try to curtail them to that extent. And in that way, we can all progress. So I will end here. If there are any questions or comments, welcome. Hare Krishna. Apologies, I was late. I was having the Tamil class also. So that was between 6:30, 6:45. It went beyond the time. Hare Krishna.